Okay. Shall we flip it over?
Flip the record over. Side 2, track 5, The Conflict. Another cool groove. All the grooves on this album are just superb, man.
This kind of reminds me a little bit more of his solo stuff in a way. Kind of darker. It's like
that bass line.
This is his solo stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You can deal with the problem on the surface anymore. Go for the road.
Going for the root. That's why it's dark, right?
Down the wall.
He means it to be that way.
Get right to the core. Go for the road.
He's digging down there, man.
Brush off the dust when you find it. Now's the time to explore. Go for the road. It's the conflict between fact and meaning. I'm living proof.
Living proof.
And you can scale the walls, 'cause there's an armed guard on the roof. Go for the road. I just found a crack in the foundations. We'll drill ourselves away right to the road.
Love the chorus.
Brush off the dust when you find it. Now's the time to explore. Go for the road. You can deal with the problem on the surface anymore. Go for the road. It's the conflict between fact and meaning. I'm living proof.
Nice little break here.
When you watch the starving thousands on the channel of
The channel of your choice.
you're an audience for war. You're always switching sides. It's like looking at a landscape through a microscope in the middle of the night. Even half a revolution would only bring you light. Go follow the road.
Doesn't that remind you a little bit of Wildest Wish to Fly album? A little break in there.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You're so messed up by politics, lady. There's nothing exotic in poverty. Go for the road. Where do you get your information? From a dream or a 24-inch screen?
There you go.
Yeah, TV mastering up.
Brush off the dust when you find it. Now's the time to explore. Go for the road. You can deal with brush off the dust on the surface anymore. Go for the road.
All the sounds. Yeah, right?
Conflict between fact and meaning.
All the layered vocals. Amy West going on.
You can deal with brush off the dust on the surface anymore. Go for the road. It's the
I like the way it's the conflict.
Yeah. Yeah, his phrasing, you know, I mean, he's got a really unique voice, right? The timbre of his voice. But he's also got a unique way of phrasing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's a really rhythmic singer. His music is rhythmic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just like lots of percussive sounds, and, you know, just the grooves are super. I've always loved the grooves of of this album and all of his stuff, you know.
But yeah, when he does his vocals, they're all real significantly, tight and
rhythmic. Yep.
just-
And then all the different, and he takes advantage of that by layering and having counterpoints.
Right,
with
exactly.
the
And
vocal
but they're
parts
hardly
and-
ever really stamping. I mean, you hear everything. It's just like
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's got stuff going on over here and up there and down here and over there and
Yeah. That's why like we'll go back to him and Steven. I just think they're a perfect match because they're just totally on the same
in sync with each other, same page, in the studio for sure. Yeah. Yes.
And back a little bit to this Thinkman idea. I used to think, why would he do that? I thought his solo albums with his name on them were badass.
Right.
So why would he do this? And now knowing that there was really a bigger concept to it, and also he said he would read little reviews about his solo stuff, and they would like a line that or some lines that would get him, and one of them was like, a headline: "Successful producer makes own album," and it's like it kind of set him off. It's like, no, I've always done my own albums. I've been doing my own albums. Like I said, since the second one. He's always been a musician first. He was always a musician first. He was always a writer first. Always an arranger first.
Even when he was producing other people, he was
musician first. Right.
Steven Taylor actually said that. Yeah, Rupert was really more on the side of helping the songwriter, right, and developing the song and the lyrics and.
Right.
So he was a musician's producer.
So the industry started giving him a hard time because his solo stuff wasn't really, it was too far out there, too far ahead of its time. It's a classic. It's a classic.
True.
You're doing things that aren't gonna really be good for the record company and all that kind of stuff. And so he went in and said, "Screw my name. This is going to be a band. This is a band. This is not me." This is a band. Right. Let's go with that angle and see what y'all think. And then and it's they were. I heard. Now we're not in England, so we don't know. But I heard it did pretty good over there. Thinkman did. Yeah, I heard. It did pretty good. We don't know. We don't know anybody that knows it. But
well, I mean, They did do some live appearances.
Right.
Because some of the videos that we've seen are the band, doing what at the Top of the Pops or whatever those, video music shows from England in the 80s, right? So yeah, you're right. I mean, they had some success over there. I don't think very few people, I think, in the United States.
It's funny listening to the Rupert Hine interview. It was the opposite when he talked, because this guy was going through all this stuff with him in the interview, and Rupert actually would have to bring up the Fix because the Fix weren't big in England at all.
They were huge in the United States.
In the U.S. And this, and so Rupert would bring up things about the Fix and stuff like that, and the guy goes, "Yes, that's right, the Fix," and it's like, and he even blamed it. Rupert blamed it on NME, the back at the time,
the Music Express.
Because
kind of the Billboard magazine of the English music.
He kind of claimed that anything that was big in America that got big in America first didn't deserve to be mentioned in England, basically.
NME, yes, in the British music media, yes.
Right.
Exactly.
So it was kind of funny you mentioned that he was the one that would have to bring up the Fix. It was kind of funny.
And that's how we got in.
Right.
I mean, that's how we know Rupert. Yeah.
Well, let's move.
That is ironic.
Let's move on to this more upbeat. We had that really dark, very good sequence. The sequencing in this album I thought was really good.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Oh, that bass line.
Maybe you don't feel it.
Great breakdown here.
You must be wearing armor.
That bass line does not quit, man.
Maybe you don't hear it. You must have wax in your ears. Maybe you can see it. You've worn that blindfold for years.
that song, man. I love that.
All of his
How You Been
songs are
Analyzed.
just interesting, you know. Even the poppiest.
Yeah, listen to strings. Nice build up here. We're getting back into the bridge.
Are you anesthetized? Are you preoccupied? And it's someone cruel, tell you lies, did you believe it? Or have you seen it all? Love is like a mountain, if you never try to climb, there's no risk at all. No challenge, don't you know the edge? Where the ends fall. If you never try to climb, there's no risk. Is there no challenge?
I mean, it takes two people to sing this chorus.
Where the ends fall.
Fun. This is just so much fun. And that bass line does not quit.
Is there no challenge? Is there no challenge? Love's like a mountain. If you never try to climb, there's no risk. Is there no challenge? Is there no challenge? Love is like a mountain. If you never try to climb, there's no risk. Is there no challenge?
Addictive song. Yeah, I would have to.
So much fun.
Like, one chorus I would pick one vocal to sing, and the next chorus I'd pick the other
Yes.
vocal to sing.
Yeah, I mean, it takes two people to sing that chorus. So one person cannot do it, but it's one chorus, right? I mean, you want to sing both lines, but you know,
You
of
can't.
course, you gotta pick one.
Always, but that's, I mean, okay, if you think about, you know, the fix, like one thing leads to another, you know, just that was so, just those layered vocal things going on. And when you picked up here's this Rupert Hine album, it was immediate, like, oh, that's where he gets it. He's been doing those kind of vocal layerings.
Yeah, he's working with Rupert Hine, who works with songwriters, right? And let's make this song cool, right?
And it's not just layered vocals. It's not like it's just harmonies. It's just all these things.
Does that with all the
these
different
lines
parts,
are working in and out of things. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love all his keyboard parts, his bass lines, of course, his percussion, all of his percussion stuff.
Right.
The sound effects are like a whole another instrument, you know.
So this is a hard, you know, we've done albums that, you know, are books written about, you know, and this is hard to find out who did what. We know Jamie's on this album, and we know Jamie Westorm, the Fix guitarist.
Yep. Lisa Dalbello.
I don't really know on this album who else is involved. I know in some of his named solo stuff, I know Stuart Copeland played on things.
It says Stuart Copeland, drums, guest artist, personnel, and percussion.
Okay, all right. So
personnel. How do you play personnel? Is he like he's like whacking on people and like, ow, 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 ow.
You know, there'd be. Have you checked out Stuart's YouTube stuff lately?
I saw something where I have seen some of his stuff. It's probably been a year ago. Or
he's really fun to watch because he's very just like a kid. You know, he's not, but he's like a kid out there. Just everything's just like. This is all great.
Well,
Everything's so fucking.
I saw him do. He was showing somebody around his studio, and he had all these instruments, every instrument had a story, right? And yeah.
Oh, it was the drummer from Foo Fighters. What's his name?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, the blonde-haired guy.
Foo. Yeah, Michael Foo. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I know him. Didn't he introduce Rush at the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, you saw the Hall of Fame performance because it was those three. It was him and Foo and Fighter.
Michael Foo.
And then Rush came in and started taking over. And sorry,
I did not see that, but you've talked about that
enough times already. Okay.